Hi students, Mr. Judge here. Just going to take you on a brief tutorial how to use wevideo. So once you Google wevideo, it's going to take you to the login screen. When you get here, just use your Google login. So that's actually your school division issued login. So that includes your email address. Now here I've got a bit of a list. So I'm going to choose the Chinook one. Don't choose your personal one because you don't have a registered account or license with wevideo. Now, the nice thing is once you click login using your school division issued, it might prompt you again to input your password and username. Go ahead and just do that. When you get to wevideo, if you've never made one before, you won't see any recents like I have down here, but you are going to want to create a new edit. The nice thing about wevideo as a program is you don't have to download anything. It's all done online. And at the very end, you can actually publish your work to your drive, which is a huge benefit to most people. It gives them a chance to access their video anywhere they want. And of course, you can share your school division issue drive content with your personal one before you graduate. So I'm going to start editing. For right now, I'll just title it as my project. When I get in here, you're going to notice, or when you get into Google, you're going to notice a few things, or Google, wevideo. First of all, there are two video tracks here. You're probably only going to use the one for this project if you're creating a video. And if you're not creating a video, you might just be using the audio track. When you're just using the audio track, you're going to be pulling in audio. I'll just give you a little example here. You're going to be pulling in audio tracks. In the case of this one here, this one is a pre-made, just kind of musical background piece given to you by wevideo. Don't use these. They're probably going to be too loud, or they're probably just going to cloud your performance. If you're creating a video, it might be a great intro, or even if, I guess, if you're creating audio, it's a good intro, but leave it at that, or even a good closing soundtrack. But for future projects, just keep in mind that there are lots of soundtrack options here for you, and you can snip them and cut them to your desire. When you drop in an audio or video, right away when you click it and it's in orange, you have the ability to cut it back to whatever length you want. Some of you who are editing with multiple takes might find this beneficial because you can take the first 14 seconds of your first take, and then later, assuming this is an audio piece, you can drop in the start of the next take and even trim that one back too. Keep in mind you can scroll right and left using this bar down at the bottom. And at any given time, if you find you can't get the precise quarter second that you want, or the precise half second, all you have to do is actually zoom in here. You'll watch here as I zoom in that the seconds spread more apart. So these are all 10-second chunks. But as I click zoom in, you can see that they break down into 5 seconds. And then even more so, eventually they can break down into single seconds that you can look at and edit a little more closely. And as of course, your sliding bar left and right also increases in terms of how much volume and space there is. So that's just something to keep in mind for you. If you're editing video, the process remains the same. I mean, with the video that you're going to be putting in, it's going to kind of look the same. Here's a title example, though. A lot of you are going to want to start your work with a title. So when we drop in a title here, obviously we're going to want to edit that title. So that's when you can click on Open Clip Editor, and you can just write something like that. Might be a good way to start off your project. And then, of course, once you've uploaded some of your own content, including video content, you're going to be able to drop in video just like so. When you drop in video, similar to when you drop in audio, click on it, and you can also adjust length. Something else I want you to bring your attention to as well is that you can also change the effects. With any video, you can alter how it's seen, which is kind of cool. Inverting colors I'd avoid. Might throw me for a bit of a loop to see some of you reverso in color, or in bizarro color world. There's, of course, the option too of opening fade options. So if I drag this down, what that means is that we're going to see a slow increase. So I'll just give you an example here. If I run the playback right here and I press play, you can kind of see how it's slowly coming to full light and brightness. But otherwise, what you want to do is, a lot of students just kind of ask, well, how is it that I can maybe even edit when it starts kind of rolling in? So that's a good question. So when I go to editor here, I can actually put here that for the first 2 seconds, I want it to be dark. And for the last 2 seconds, I want it to be dark. And here you can actually track and see that this is how it's going to be seen by the viewer in terms of darkness and lightness. Same thing goes over here. I can change for my audio if I want it to be a slow fade in, if I'm doing like a newscast report, and then a slow fade out. The benefit of this is really that it makes for a more professional appeal, makes it so that there aren't any harsh sounds that catch your listener off guard. All these things are incredibly beneficial. So you want to bring in your own content, obviously. So you're going to go to media and you're going to click on import media. It's going to prompt you to import it from two places. One, you can import it from your Google Drive, which is kind of nice. When you click your Google Drive, what it does is it opens a separate window, and then it asks you to choose your account. You'll obviously choose your Chinook account if you've stored it there, and then you're going to be bringing in content that way. Here you can also click Browse to select. So if this is hooked up to your computer or you've hooked your phone up to your computer using a media cord, then you're going to be able to actually choose clips and audio or video clips from your phone or from your device directly. So once they're in here, let's say I've got everything the way I want it to. I've also done some, like here, I can edit the track settings a little bit and show some levels if you're going to get that in depth with your audio. But once I'm all done and I'm ready to edit, here's what it is you're going to do. Or once I'm all done and the editing's done, pardon me, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hit finish. You're going to title your project. So here we go. And when you get here, it's going to offer you a thumbnail picture that's going to be your reference among all your other projects in wevideo. And then it's going to ask you a few things. Do you want to export it? And do you want to export it as a link? I often tell students if you export as a Google Drive video, it's much better. One, I can get the MP4 from your drive when you choose to share it with me from your drive. And if you export as a clip, believe it or not, I need to be able to log in with your login to view it. So it doesn't do me much good in terms of seeing how far you've come with the project and if you've handed it in on time. So please click your Google Drive option here and click export. Once you click export, it's going to tell you here how long it's going to take to complete your film and create a link. The link will appear before your film is completely prepped. But if you go from here to your Google Drive, you're going to find there's an MP4 waiting for you. An MP4 is a video audio file type. And whether you've created an audio project or a video project, that's how it's going to be as an MP4 when it comes out of wevideo. What you want to do is open up your Google Drive then. Select that video, share it with me, your teacher, before the start of class tomorrow. So if you have any more questions, by all means, let me know. As you can see here, it's already loading my video. And of course, the link is already prepared for me to share with myself later. I would ask, though, that you do share with me directly from your Google Drive, the MP4, if you're using a wevideo. Otherwise, if you want to download the MP4 from your Google Drive to USB, you can also hand your project in that way. Good luck and email me if you have any questions.